Good afternoon. So the frost is back. Storm's over though. The rain and the torrential rain that's been pummeling us is finally gone. However, with that, of course, returns the frost. But I wanted to today really discuss some of the misconceptions, some of the myths that I find on the internet. And of course, before I started my whole food forest here, tropical food forest here, I mean, the internet was my go-to source for a lot of this. I mean, and the internet is just so resourceful that it really any subject you want, you're able to find it on the internet. However, there seems to be a lot of I wouldn't say misinformation. It's just there seems to be a lot of conflicting information about what can grow in certain climates, particularly in our frosty, cold climate. What can grow and what is purported to not grow. So today I wanted to talk about that and go with some of the common articles that I keep some common topics I keep seeing on online when when trying to plant some of these tropical fruit trees. So the this list that I'm gonna go through is not to criticize anyone. It's just that in looking these up, these have been their experiences. It's been their experience that they either can't grow these or have challenges growing them. But the first one that I want to talk about is this one website that I found that talked about the Southern California region and more specifically the Los Angeles and the San Diego region, which are zone 10 to, yeah, basically zone 10, where they get no frost whatsoever. But they evidently can't seem to grow star fruits. And yet, in our climate, I mean, if you look at this, I mean, this is obviously proof that these can literally grow anywhere. I mean, even in our crazy, insane, frosty climate. I mean, I've got a mature one here, another, smaller one here. They do great here. I mean, I don't know. It might be the cold that they need, which I don't think so. So starfruits, yeah, they do great here. Another one is the papaya. Like papayas are perhaps one of the easiest tropical fruit trees to grow. I know it can be tricky when it comes to the root rot situation just because their root systems are so shallow. But once you've addressed that, they are great. I mean, they love our heat, they tolerate the cold, emphasis on the word tolerate. But I mean, like, check it out. All right, this looks like crap, okay? Speaking of which, another word for crop is manure, aka fertilizer. So it's all about perspective. So look at the damaged foliage. New ones are literally coming out to replace them. And luckily for us, we've only got maybe a month and a half more winter to go. Beyond that, these guys are gonna just grow like wild. So papayas, no issues at all with our winter. They thrive in our hot summers. So wax shamboos. There are I know there's a lot of talks about wax shamboos not being able to grow here in warm, well, in zone 9B climate. But all of mine have been doing great, particularly the ones that are in the ground. Like this guy is actually a seedling. I mean, a seedling wax shampoo going 3 years old. Yes, it's not gonna win any competition for being the prettiest, but it is surviving. And as soon as the weather warms up, this guy is gonna kick butt. So wax jambu. Another one that is purported to be a challenge for a lot of folks are mangoes for some reason. Well, I know why actually. So mangoes, like this kid mango here. I mean, it a lot of folks have difficulties growing mangoes. Kid mango here. I actually have several mangoes back here. Manila mango. Right behind him is a more mature Corriente mango. I believe this is native to the Mexico region. So they do fine here, including seedlings. Like, check it out. See this right? And this guy right here? He's a seedling kid mango. I mean, that's great. Including the ones that I've got in the street. Let me show you actually. So here, including these mangoes, like they're fine. They do fine. Again, it is not gonna win any beauty competition. Okay, you're. I mean, right now it is probably the worst of the worst of the worst. But I've never really had these guys die on me because of the frost. More mangoes. Yeah, I mean, this is what the cold rare weather will do to them. On the young foliage, look at it. This is the young growth, not the old ones. The old ones are doing fine. They're doing phenomenal. So it's just the young, tender foliage that gets succumbed to the frost. But beyond that, the old foliage, no problem at all. Like, I mean, look at it. I know a lot of folks have problems with mango, and really, I would say to that, I would say about 75% of the issue with mangoes is going to be the soil. Mangoes like a particular type of soil, well draining. It's got to be in the right pH threshold. So yeah, and more papayas. The two over there were red ladies. This is the Hawaiian sunrise. Again, it is not gonna win any beauty competition. Okay, not yet anyhow. Wait until the summer warms up. These guys are gonna look as pretty as they can be. Continuing on the trees that are purported to be challenging to grow, you'll need a lot of luck and maybe some protection. Um, the inga is a really good example. I know folks might struggle to grow them, but I mean, this is really living proof that they grow here. They thrive here. I mean, like, look at the size of it. It's huge. And it literally is, if you don't count the years where the tree, the seedling gets knocked down, it really is about maybe 3, 4 years old. Yeah, I mean, it's flowered every other year since a few years ago. So yeah, black sapote. These guys do great here. So yeah, I mean, there's really, yeah, I really don't understand the whole idea behind folks and their and the frost. I mean, these trees, once it goes to a year or two of winter, I mean, they are fine. Jaboticaba, uh, tuba. These guys do not mind the frost. They tolerate it. Uh, Cherimoyas, even, going back to the mango. I mean, like, it literally is a seedling mango that has been around for, I believe this is the second year. No problem at all. I mean, seedling mango. Even See this guy right here? Even a lychee seedling that's been in the ground for, I want to say this is also the second year. I mean, yeah, these guys are supposed to die out when the temperature hits 30 degrees or so. Yeah, but yeah, no, they do great here. Even the Mamey sapote. I mean, if you look at it though, it is heavily microclimate, being basically protected and fed by the inga here. I mean, this is, yeah, I mean, they grow. It's just the problem with some of the more sensitive ones, such as the Mamey sapote, is the fact that they grow. They don't do anything else besides grow at a very snail pace. Snail pace. So the other one that I wanted to talk about is sun protection. Here's a really good example. Cepediella, okay? This is the Alano variety. When it talks about sun protection or the tree being able to grow in full sun, just it's just pretend that it doesn't really apply to our sun. Our summers are crazy dry. You're talking maybe 10, 13%, 15% humidity. Direct sun, it is like literally putting it in an oven. Whereas the climate with more humidity is more equate to putting it in a microwave where there's some humidity. No, not ours. It just bakes and bakes and bakes. This guy, if I don't have any protection back here, it is gonna get burnt and sizzle. In fact, let me show you. Right here, actually. See that right here? This is actually sun damage. Yeah, I mean, just be mindful when it says full sun. If things can be planted in full sun, just be mindful of where the article was, the targeted audience was written for. Like folks in Florida, folks in Hawaii, the sun is just so mild that a lot of the tropicals can take it, but not ours. I mean, yeah, no. Again, wintertime, it's not a beauty competition. This guy it does this all the time, but it bounces back. So just yeah, shade protection is one that's a must. Another one is spacing. There's a lot of conflicting information out there about spacing. The way I approach spacing is it depends on your situation. For me, because of the added protection that most of my trees required, I've got them literally maybe a, a, a foot apart, like the lychee here. As if you look at above us, summertime, this guy is gonna get about maybe an hour or two worth of direct sun in the morning as the sun rises from the east. Uh, and then once the sun hits the jamun tree there, and also the inga here, and everywhere else, it gets all day shade, which is what this guy really will appreciate. So, like the cherimoya, how far would you say these are planted? I mean, you've got a tree here, you've got another tree here, you've got another tree here. They're literally about maybe a foot apart. And this works for me just because I know that these trees in our climate are never ever gonna reach the full height, the full potential. Maybe the Java Jamun up there, but beyond that, everything else, thankfully, because of our insane climate, keeps them at a nice, respectable height, respectable size, which allows me to have a number of them. I mean, so going back to spacing, I mean, it's if you look at the base of the trees, maybe I say maybe that's between the mango and the softwood here. I say maybe 3 feet apart. But spacing isn't really an issue for me. What I need is spacing is not a priority for me. That's what I'm trying to say. What is a priority for me is the fact that there is some sort of a protection mechanism that is happening between the various trees. I mean, off subject, but black sapote. I mean, look at that. It is just, and this is literally the middle of winter. We've got again frost is coming. I mean, winter is here. But then you've got like trees that are really liking the winter. The white sapote, one of the easiest tropical fruit trees to grow, will appreciate some shade though when young. Same with the loquat, also another crazy easy tree to grow. Again, also appreciate some shade when young. But then you come back here, you got the Etamoya, not the happiest looking tree in the world. It does this every year though. Same with the Thai jambu wax jambu. Look at this. I mean, this is a lot of, well, actually, it's from the Etamoya. But yeah, new leaf, okay? It doesn't look pretty. It is frost stressed. But then you see the old leaves. Looks fine. So yeah, I mean, easy to grow, easy to grow, easy to grow. Uh, a bit more advanced, but it grows. So anyhow, yeah, just including my videos. I mean, just because I can grow them doesn't mean everyone else can. At the same time, just because I can grow it, it doesn't mean you. Well, just because you can grow it doesn't mean I can. I mean, or there's just so many variables with growing tropical fruit trees. But at the same time, there are some common denominators that we can share to allow most of these tropical fruit trees to thrive. I mean, you're talking shade protection, frost protection, you need to, soil pH, soil aeration slash drainage. Um, yeah, there's just so many variables. The so the way that I like to approach it is I've got two original OG hybrids, a 2016 Toyota RAV4 hybrid and a 2013 Toyota Prius C. I've been able to more than double the manufacturer's miles per gallon on both of those vehicles. And I know people out there struggle to at least just get the manufacturer's um, miles per gallon out of their vehicles. But with the right driving techniques, port and glide, I mean, you really can go above and beyond what is doable. And luckily, with tropical fruit trees, with trees in general, the more these trees stay in the ground, the hardier they become. So that's just a given. I mean, these trees have been in the ground. This jaboticaba, I want to say it's been in the ground for 5, 6 years now. Yeah, I mean, winter doesn't even touch it. Same with the longan here. Same with the black sapote here. Yeah. So anyhow, yeah, just letting you know, just give it a shot. I mean, it likely will, you likely have greater chances of success than failures. So anyhow, all right, have a good afternoon.